How are we all feeling about this? Do we go in to contain control, or do we go in to take the game to Newcastle? Jordan, let me hear from you first, because I did speak to these two on the preview. So
Yeah, it's actually ironic because this is probably the game where I probably would start Marino in
you'd
midfield.
understand it more, right?
Yeah, this is the one where I think it makes more sense to play Marino in midfield if he's making those runs into the box, though. Um, yeah, I mean, I'd go with the back four. We've been starting with in the league. I've got no issues with the back four. Yeah, I probably would go. Marino, Zubimendi, and Rice. The only thing about Zubimendi though is I know they play like different positions, but Verts got absolutely swallowed up in this game at Newcastle a few weeks ago. And I know Zuba plays a little bit deeper, but I just wonder if the similar thing might happen to him. I don't know. Do you guys think this is the game for him? He's the controller. He's the guy that kind of dictates the plays. He's the deep line playmaker. I don't know. He'd be one of the three that I'd be kind of thinking, is your position the one that's, I don't know, gonna struggle the most with the physicality? Because we know how they play. We know how Newcastle, they're very physical. We know, a bit like Anfield, the City grounds, one of those grounds where they're going to be loud. They're going to be up for it from the start. If you're not up to speed and you can't handle that pace and physicality, you'll get run over very, very early. But my front three would be, if I'm assuming Saka's fit now, he's up and running. I would go with Saka, Gyökeres, and on the left, I'd probably go Martinelli. Actually, I probably would start him on in this game and bring Eze on as a weapon. I don't think Eze's quite up to speed yet, so I would have him as a sub. But
So
yeah,
you'd go with Marino and Zubi and Rice then.
I would on this one. I would. 'Cause I just feel like you have to. This is the game where you've got to kind of be able to withstand the power. They're a very powerful team, and I think you have to be able to stand up to that. And I think you want players like Marino, I think, who are quite robust to be able to do that. Find your way into the game, and then once you've shut them up, quieten them down, and match them physically, then we can play. Then we can
But
try and score some
isn't there
goals.
an argument that you know, to counter power, you can use guile? You use boxing as an example. Like, styles make fights, and I think now it's not only because of recent form or recent performances do we need to maybe change it up a little, but recent history with Newcastle tells us that going physical with them hasn't really worked
True,
well for us.
true, true. That's
So
that's 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 a,
do we
that's a fair
counter
point.
power with an Eze in the 10 to, you drop of the shoulder and create a little something through the middle?
That's a fair point. And if he went with a 10, a creative 10 like Eza, I wouldn't be pissed. I wouldn't be annoyed. I'd see the logic behind that for what you're saying there. I just fear that we know what's coming with Newcastle, and if you're 2-0 down after 30 minutes because they've run all over you, you're in trouble. I will just finally say though that it's a Newcastle team that've got a good record against us, but it's a Newcastle team without Isak. Isak was the kind of pinnacle of their team, that was the threat. They could bully you midfield, knowing full well we've got a guy up top that can score a goal from a half chance, let alone a good chance. He's not there anymore. And whilst I do think Watermaid is going to be a good striker, I think people are sleeping on him a little bit. He's going to be a good striker. He's not quite up to speed yet, and he's not Isak. So it's a game where people would say, yeah, the Newcastle do well against us, but a large part of that is because they've had a world-class striker in Isak up top. They haven't got that anymore. And finally, and I will shut up now, I don't want to put too much hyperbole on this fixture, but it's a massive weekend for Arsenal, guys. Because if we lose to Newcastle and Liverpool, who albeit also haven't got a great record at Selhurst Park, but if they win that game, I think we're then 8 points behind. Yeah. 8 points. You're then into a game of maths where you then everyone's thinking about, we kind of lose one more game. You're in trouble. You're playing catch up very early. Mm-hmm. Very early. So it's a massive, massive game for Arsenal. We can't afford to drop points here. We just can't.
I agree with Turkish's kind of, do you counter aggression, with kind of more guile and class on the ball. And, Arteta did that, and he explained that in 22-23. I think it's more this, though, as well. I think if you're going to have control of the game, which I'm not expecting Arsenal to go to St James's Park and try run all over Newcastle and have 65% of the ball and create chance after chance. I don't think we're suddenly going to do that, out of nowhere, and it be Newcastle away where it clicks. But just have your match winners on the pitch. Like, I don't really mind if it's Trossard on the left, but then it's got to be Eze in the 10. But I'd like it to be Eze on the left, so it's Waneri in the 10. I'd like players that, if we're going to say the job is to somewhat contain Newcastle, to bring the boil down on the game and just keep it all quite sensible, not concede too many chances, if any at all, not create many. Okay, fine, but make sure the players that are getting those chances are those who you trust to put it in the back of the net. I don't think Eze has had an amazing start to life at Arsenal, guys. I think he's done okay. And he's got a brilliant assist for Gyökeres, a brilliant assist for Martinelli, and a really lovely finish against Port Vale. So you can already point to a goal and 2 assists, that moments of real quality. And I don't think he's remotely up to speed. I think he's given us a 6 or 7 out of 10. His best performance was probably Forest at home. That's kind of what, these players who, even when they're not at 100, they can just deliver moments of real quality. And I think we need to get those players on the pitch. I don't mind if they're not pressing Newcastle all over. I don't mind if they're not playing tiki-taka. I don't mind if the job is somewhat contain them first. But at least have your match winners, so when that moment comes, you can do something. And I think that was the frustrating thing, is against City, it might have been a job to contain, but Mourinho's not really a match winner. Trossard maybe was more in that mould, but yeah, we're talking one player. So yeah, you've now got Saka. If you get Saka, Waneri, Eze all on the pitch, and you've got Gyökeres there too, there's got to be a goal in there at St James's Park for us.
Yeah. I'd probably bring Waneri off the bench.
I'm praying that Odegaard's fit. Praying.
It's kind of the only way he'll go for that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Basically, if Odegaard's fit, it's the only way we'll kind of see that.
Yeah.
What's the likelihood of that?
50-50.
Well, he wasn't on the bench for Port Vale, so I don't think it's looking good, guys.
No. But he did say...
But he said it's a similar injury to the first one.
Yeah.
Listen, as much as I don't like it, I'm with Jordan on this one. I can see there's more meat to the bone if he was.
I don't like him.
Huh?
I thought you were slagging off Jordan.
No, there's more meat to the bone.
I don't like him.
There's more meat to the bone if he was to play that free. I get it more in this game than last week for whatever reason. That inexcusable last week. I can't. I'm never ever gonna. He could speak to me for 10 hours about it. Arteta, I'll never agree with him on it. Never ever agree with it. But on this one, I could actually, even though I don't like it, I can understand seeing it. I don't want to see it. I'd rather see us be a little bit more like Barcelona, where they said, look, we'll ride out your storm, and then our players will get on the ball and do what we have to do. I do believe at this moment, because he's only 18, he doesn't trust. He trusts Waneri like in a forward capacity and doing what he does. I don't think he trusts him in a defensive one at this moment in time, and I think that's what's that come with age and whatever. So for me, I think that I do want to see Eze play, whether it's on the left or in the field. So I'm just praying that Odegaard comes in there, and I'm going to go with Robbie. Robbie said something. I think this is a game for Norgard. Norgard will play. It'll be 2 holding midfield players. And maybe Rice bombing through, trying to get on the end.
Ah, man. What the hell?
Well, listen, if he's gone ultra negative, he's gone negative at home against Man City. I can see him going ultra negative in this game. And that's why I'm praying for Odegaard to be fit, Turkish. I do think that he trusts Odegaard. And I do think that even though he can play, he trusts him in that role.
But if Odegaard is fragile at the moment, right, is throwing him in at St James's Park.
Yeah. So he's got to be 100% fit.
A smart thing to do.
It's got to be 100% fit, and I think that he'll probably go with Mourinho in there. But I'd like to see and nothing against Trossard, because there were 3 or 4 occasions in the game against Man City that Trossard, if he had that little bit of extra pace, could have got away, and he couldn't. You know what I mean? Like in that formation, like, you know, he had to come back on himself and all that. I'd rather see someone, if he's in that, so it could be a Martinelli or an Eze, then take it on, like, you know what I mean? So listen, I hate to say it, I'll keep it tight, and as James said, one of you 3 up front produce the magic. Yeah.
I'm gonna go. I was thinking draw, but I'll go for a win. I'm gonna go 2-1 Arsenal.
2-1 Arsenal. James?
Okay, this might sound weird. Is it not Lee next?
No, you're second by Jay. Actually, no, it is Lee. Sorry, yeah.
Taking the point off me, I was here on time, Turkish. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
I mean, you do make a good point there. I could have used that angle, but we
no, I was here on time. You cheeky sod. 2-1, you've gone.
Yeah.
1-0 Arsenal.
1-0 Arsenal. 2-1 Arsenal. James?
Okay, I'll just put it out there. I think we're going to win 1-0. But I also more think we're going to match Liverpool's result. So basically, if Liverpool draw at Palace, I think we'll draw at Newcastle. Does that make sense? Whereas I think if they win at Palace, we'll almost feel even more that we have to win and therefore kind of find it. I have this feeling that if they draw at Palace, we'll kind of sense an opportunity. But at the same time, we might. I could just see it getting in the heads. Well, points not the worst thing. 5 off Liverpool after all these games. Yeah, it's an opportunity, but we could lose it, and we might go in our shell. So I just think we're going to match Liverpool's result, but I think they'll win at Palace, and I think we'll win at Newcastle.
So what'd you go with?
1-0. Yeah, after all that, 1-0.
Yeah.
Do you guys know what I mean? Like, can you not almost see Liverpool scoring, and then we go, well, we don't have to win it because it would be 5 after all these games. That's not so bad, and I could just.
And just before Turkish, you give your score. That's a really important point. Liverpool playing the day before us.
Yeah.
So do you know what I mean? The Liverpool, the pressure's on Arsenal. Liverpool win their game. They're basically saying, "What are you saying?"
Yeah.
What are you lot saying? Yeah.
1-0 Arsenal. 2-1 Arsenal. James?
Okay, I'll just put it out there. I think we're going to win 1-0. But I also more think we're going to match Liverpool's result. So basically, if Liverpool draw at Palace, I think we'll draw at Newcastle. Does that make sense? Whereas I think if they win at Palace, we'll almost feel even more that we have to win and therefore kind of find it. I have this feeling that if they draw at Palace, we'll kind of sense an opportunity. But at the same time, we might. I could just see it getting in the heads. Well, points not the worst thing. 5 off Liverpool after all these games. Yeah, it's an opportunity, but we could lose it, and we might go in our shell. So I just think we're going to match Liverpool's result, but I think they'll win at Palace, and I think we'll win at Newcastle.
So what'd you go with?
1-0. Yeah, after all that, 1-0.
Yeah.
Do you guys know what I mean? Like, can you not almost see Liverpool scoring, and then we go, well, we don't have to win it because it would be 5 after all these games. That's not so bad, and I could just.
And just before Turkish, you give your score. That's a really important point. Liverpool playing the day before us.
Yeah.
So do you know what I mean? The Liverpool, the pressure's on Arsenal. Liverpool win their game. They're basically saying, "What are you saying?"
Yeah.
What are you lot saying? Yeah, we beat Everton. You messed up. We're gonna beat Palace. Are you really about this life? Are you really about this pressure? We're putting pressure on you every single week by playing before you. Are you really about it, Arsenal? So I think this is about where the pressure thing comes in as well. So it's a good point, James.
And the table has been updated. Jordan 10 points, Lee 7 points, James 6 points. I've got 5 points. My prediction 1-1.
There we go.
Yeah, it's not crazy.
I hope one of you are right. I hope one of you are all right. Let us know yours in the comment section below. What you think Arteta's going to go with, what you want Arteta to go with, and everything else in between. Comments of the daytime. Everyone got one?